Roger's here. You know, I forgot to include Wanda in the email for the agenda.
You're fired.
I'm not sure whether she was paying attention enough to know that we were having the meeting or not.
I should have
Yes,
texted her.
Yeah, we should have given her a call.
Yeah, darn it.
We kind of missed out on that one because I thought about it later today and I thought, oh, I think I forgot to put her in on the email.
Yeah, we need to loop her in, and I was going to give her some one-on-one time too, because I know she's nervous about keeping up, and we'll get there.
Why do I have two of them going here? Let's see. There we go.
Did it not? Yours didn't go down?
God.
Mine went down like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the last I heard, Bob said he was going to be there, but
Okay. I'm gonna up the volume here if I can.
No, you're-
But we did get a new, this was supposed to be scholars.
So do you go through AT&T or is it mine?
are they going to be able to hear me, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
You have any readouts?
I can pronounce the agenda. I don't have.
What about the little, the sheet?
Oh, the action plan.
Action plan. Do you have any of those?
I can print some of those. Let's see if she's got it where we can print it and it makes sense. Or it fits in the paper.
It should, Jeff. I hope
Okay.
so.
Oh, it does. Yeah, you're fine. Stop bothering me.
What, you sent the agenda, what, yesterday or? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't have my internet, so I couldn't get my emails.
Do we want to give Wanda a call and make sure that she knows? I think she should probably text.
Yeah, text Bob and see if he's responding. Copies, where's copies? Come on, what's wrong?
Okay, I'll print the agenda if you want to check that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Bob is coming in Thursday.
He's on his way.
Oh, yeah, so if he shows up, then do you want him to chair it or do you want to chair it?
I'll keep chairing it unless it gets awkward, but I think it'll be all right. And, Adam can step in too. He and I are pretty much on the same page with these issues. And so I want to follow the same format that we've been following, and I think we can. Oops.
Okay.
Jessica, hold on. Hey, Jess. Good. I'm just getting ready to start a meeting with Mr. Cherry and the gang. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, I'll be back next week, all week. Yeah.
Where's the Zoom link?
Okay.
Yeah, I emailed you.
Well, I'm looking
Okay.
for it only has the agenda.
No, I sent them separate. I sent your Zoom link separate.
What's your email? I'll get it forwarded.
That's fine. You do it on your schedule and we'll accommodate you.
Secretary.Parker.
And when you Zoom, if you Zoom in,
Okay. All right, all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh, partner.
Yeah, partners. Sorry, my favorite.
Thank you, appreciate it. Bye.
Okay, I just folded that over.
Hey,
That's a weird phone number.
yeah.
You're admitted. Hey, Wanda. This is Jeff. So, hey, so we have a special meeting tonight. Starts at 5 o'clock. I don't know whether you got the email for the agenda or not. I'm sorry.
Your name.
Sure.
Tell her it's okay, Jeff. We'll brief her.
I'm here at the district office. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Okay. She's on her way.
Okay. That's a little last minute.
Did you get that email?
Yeah, the one I
I
didn't
think I
send.
forgot to put her on the list. I'm gonna kill Adam's bug. Was bothering him earlier.
So are we gonna wait for them or are we gonna get started on time? What do you think?
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait for one of them,
Okay.
so you have a quorum of the board.
I did not. Sorry.
She
I'm
knows.
fired.
She won't be here.
Are you?
Yeah, I brought the baby and I forgot the diaper bag.
Oh, no.
So we're in a world of hurt here. Luckily, they're all parents, so they'll figure it out.
There'll be some hand towels and safety pins.
Mhm. We've all been there.
Everybody get their action plan.
CDC.
Surprised I haven't heard back from Emma.
Well, last time she didn't reply an email. But she
Mhm. Well, but then it wasn't, Emma wasn't, she
oh,
was
you're in crutches.
on maternity, is he?
Oh,
Coming in.
Yeah, Chris,
Okay.
Well, Bob Orange
you have to do that.
has arrived.
You're on crutches.
You do not have to do
No.
it. Pretty bad. Gentlemen, how are you? Thank you. That's very kind of you. Wow. Right? Looks nice, doesn't it?
Butter. We're still working on it. We gotta get, that's like some hard things.
It's a work in progress.
So we gotta get some of this stuff out of here.
I can see Jeff is not into change and you are.
No, Jeff likes specific change that he agrees
Like I said, Jeff's not into change.
with.
I just downloaded Zoom onto my new computer.
Okay, great.
Guess I need to get the password for it.
Just follow the link from the email. It'll take you right to it.
Did he bring his laptop?
No, you.
Apparently.
Oh, boy, you're moving up in the world now, Bob.
Woodline kit, I put a new hydraulic system on one of the trucks and they said, maybe it's been $3,000-4,000, they give you free.
Yeah.
Awful nice of them, huh?
In fact, I think we can move this over.
Now I can access my email when my computer died, so I've never had a laptop before. I'm still learning this stuff.
Okay. So we do have a quorum if you wanted to get started.
All right. Well, let's call to order. Jeff, you want to do a roll call?
Yeah, Director Cherry,
Here.
Director Orange,
Here,
Director Gorbett,
Here.
and Director Carpenter,
Probably a late arrival.
Director Doran. Carpenter, I believe, is on her way, so
And Director Doran is absent.
yes.
Can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Let's see, are we there yet? Let's do the pledge.
Oh, Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, my bad.
Oh,
no, right here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She was knocking me off my rhythm.
She's slightly behind.
Oh, what am I?
Chrissy, I'm here. This is Bob. I'm working on getting my new computer up going on Zoom and getting it.
Okay.
So if you don't mind running it until I get my stuff squared away.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
what-
mind, Bob. I was fully intending to, and I talked to Adam a little bit about this today. So we've got notes in the agenda that we'll bring in when we get to that action item. But I think that we'll stay with the format of using the Excel action item, right? That board action list, and we'll go topic by topic. And when that topic has something from the agenda in it, we'll add that in. So we'll kind of work in tandem. I don't want to lose the rhythm of going through the action items. Okay.
That's great. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. So do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Is there any public comment? Do we have someone there from the public that would like to?
Did not receive any, but let me check we are live.
Okay.
So I will check and see if anybody has submitted anything on the live feed. No, I'm the only one there right now.
Okay. All right, so this moves us on to number 5 on the agenda, which is the action plan. And we'll go through that. And again, you guys, our goal is to do this in an hour. So, and if we build this discipline, we can, get briefed on this and really bang right through it. So, is Don Silva there tonight?
No.
Okay. All right. So the 2 action items for the number 1, FEMA project lift stations 552391 on your spreadsheet. We've got to send in a maintenance record. That's on our to-do list. I have one kind of drafted with Don. I've talked to him about it. So Adam, I could probably throw that together and get that updated to the portal. The last thing is to talk to an attorney about legal easements. And I haven't taken any action on that. I don't think Adam has either. But that's something that we're going to want to move forward with.
Yeah, so I'll run with that. I just need to know who to contact. Who is our counsel?
Greg Einhorn, and Jeff can get you that information.
Einhorn?
Mhm.
Actually, you know what? If I come over here to notes from Susan, she said that we could probably start that just by contacting a land surveyor. Anybody got any discussion on that?
What properties are we?
The lift station 3.
Oh, lift station 3. Okay, down there.
That's the one where the guy sent us a bill for $900 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Lucas.
Lucas,
Yeah, so I will, you know what? I'll take that on and figure that out. Either a land surveyor and or legal counsel. I'll figure that out and get an answer
Okay.
on the process at least.
Is there
All
any
right.
old agreement we had with this person?
I haven't found any, Roger, and I've seen one from another easement.
We have a lot of
It's in the
easement
lift
issues.
station file in the office, but I haven't seen anything from anywhere
I have a whole
else.
file on easements in the filing cabinet though, so I mean, we can go through the old ones. The really old ones might be there.
You would think we'd have had something to be able to put something like that in.
It's been so long since they've actually done regular easements on anything, so that we may have whatever's existing sitting there, whatever we didn't get, that was a handshake deal.
Still,
there's
there
a
should
lot
have
of
been something
those.
Right. I mean, how old is that?
Yeah, that one's probably not too bad.
No.
Yeah, that one's probably not as old as the others.
Well, we can
But
do some
who knows?
investigation.
That still could have been a handshake deal.
Okay. And I don't know whether Don has reported to you, Adam, whether the lift station 2 controls are completed, but they were going to be working on those on Tuesday.
I haven't heard anything. I had a brief conversation with Don this afternoon, but he was already off.
Okay.
So my conversation with him was limited to water meters.
This is, I think, the day he picks up his daughter. So this is kind of a tough meeting for him to make. But so Roger and Bob, just to let you know, there was some electrical work done on the LS2 controls. They were going to do that this week.
Okay.
So
they're starting out.
that's the
Are you connected to the internet?
they're going to take the controls off of one and put on another or something.
Nope, they got brand new controls.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. And
An electrician that we had in line.
Marsh.
Yep.
Marsh is using Marsh. And Roger, we're still waiting for the drawing from Dean on this.
Oh,
And I know
You're waiting on Dean for number 2?
for number 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But who's doing the installation? Is it Universal or Don's going to install?
We have to have the statement of work so we can put it out to bid. And that's what he and Don met last week. And we
I see.
reported on Thursday that because lift station 3 needs all new pumps and new rails, they have to reconfigure it. We're sending it out to bid, and that's why we need that statement of work as soon as possible so that we can do it. And Roger was hollering about that last week. He's probably going to holler about it this week.
I can if you want.
I think that maybe by next week we'll have to start pinning Dean down and asking him when he can get these drawings to us, because that's really, we just need to know.
And I can do that. I'm happy to crack whips, but I'm a little confused. Can we go back? What is Dawn doing a statement of work for on the lift stations?
Nothing.
Okay, I misheard then.
Dawn and Dean met. That's why it's black. It's already been done. So they met, and Dawn told Dean that we were going to contract bid this out. So that's how Dean is designing it. And Dawn is pricing the pumps. He had some trouble finding the pumps that he needed, the grinder pumps, but he's got those now. And now we just need that design so we can say, this is what we want you to do. I mean, basically it's just rebuild the rail system and put those 2 pumps and the controls in. So it's not that big a job.
And was the electrical work that was just done on lift station number 2, was that related to the damage?
Yes, that's part of the overall plan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So as you read in column A, under that topic, the lift station topic, you'll see we're going to abandon LS1.
Yes.
We're going to repair the controls on LS2, and we're going to take the pumps that we would have put back in 1 and put in 3.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if the electrical work was related to the damage or not.
It kind of is.
Hang on, Chrissy. We're getting Bob online.
Okay.
Over here.
There's some feedback. There we go. Cool. All right.
Okay. Any other discussion on sewer stations?
What's that?
Still getting feedback off the bottom.
I'm all the way down.
There we go.
Okay, we should be good to go now. You don't want to see yourself, do you? Oh no, you're seeing.
He'll see everybody.
All right. So moving on to the water treatment plant. Again, we're waiting for Dean's report on the hydrologist. The 2 designs that we're waiting on is for the short-term work and the, no, let's see. No, this is just the design. There's only one design for this one, and that is to replace the Paul system, which there's some confusion about that. I want to make sure everybody understands. The Paul system is not outdated. It's expensive and complicated. And those were Dean's words. And if we go to a rapid sand filtration system, it's simpler to operate. And that's apparently the Paul system was super complicated and very expensive. So we're trying to avoid going back with that system. Okay.
A lot of chemicals as well.
We knew that. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't have any more updates on the water treatment plant. I know that the building was completed and that there's some work that Don can start. And I know that it's been something that's been on his mind. There's some work that he can start so he can start putting some automation into knowing when the tanks are full. Right now, it's all on manual. Is that Wanda?
Yep, Wanda just walked in.
Hey, Wanda.
Hi.
All right. So any more discussion on the water plant? Just still waiting on that design.
We have another action plan for her. Is there another?
Thank you. Good to see you.
Okay, Christy, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. The next one, moving on to number 3, the raw water supply line. This is where we're waiting for the hydrogeologist to assess an alternate to the surface water, maybe a well versus the surface water. Haven't got anything yet. We also need to request a use permit from the Forest Service. I haven't done that yet, but we got to name Diane, somebody in the Forest Service that we can call. I can do that when I get back. And we're waiting for that cost estimate from Dean. So not a lot of new news on the raw water line.
So,
Sorry. Why do we need a permit from the Forest Service to go across their ground?
It's their land, yeah.
Okay, just checking. I
Yep.
didn't know.
Good question.
a little bit more on the hydrogeologist report. So what are we expecting from them?
So there's concern with the community in using the lake water. They
Yes.
don't like it. And Tosh and Jeff are water users that have been very vocal about that. They're going, how about just putting in a new well? And the challenge with the well is that if you go too low down towards the valley, you'll need a water treatment plant on the well. And if you go too high up, who knows whether you're going to get
And water.
good water or not, or even water at all. So that's why the hydrogeologist is supposed to be doing something, is to
Okay,
give us
so
some
what-
options there.
So what happens, what is our plan then if they recommend that we go with the well rather than utilize any of the surface water? Then what happens with our surface water usage and rights?
Well, that's a good question.
I mean,
Right.
what if we,
I mean,
get
we
in a position
could
where-
potentially, that's the risk. We could potentially lose the water rights, right?
Have to somehow show public use
Right.
for our right.
So does this hydrogeologist know, I mean, what's been described to them? I mean, what,
Well, and that's the Dean Marsh.
okay, this is through Dean?
Dean knows the country, he knows our system, and he knows the issues. So there's a report there that when Dean met with us in a board, I think 2 or 3 months ago, he gave us a pretty comprehensive report. And at the end of that, what we said was, we want that hydrogeologist report, and we still haven't got it. And that's where that's our base. That's where we're going to start. And then we'll cost that all out and try and be, super considerate when we decide, what we're going to do.
So is this report being done through Dean's firm?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a hydrogeologist that subs to him. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the raw water cemetery line. This one, we're waiting for Dawn to provide a statement of work, the difference between the 267 and the potential alternate choice of coming off a hideaway. Do we have any of that? Did we get anything from Dawn?
You haven't received anything, have you? No.
He told me that he would have it by Thursday, but he also said that he thought that it would be cheaper to go with the 267 feet than the off the hideaway. But that was just his gut feeling. And so I'm just going to throw that out there. I probably shouldn't have even said it. We'll just wait.
But it's also not all about cost though.
Right. It's about risk. Yeah.
Also too, didn't we talk about moving that diversion point back and not have to deal with that 267 feet?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that also would show public use of the lake water to maintain the right if they do a cemetery line.
If we move the meter back to our property near the dam, we don't have to deal with 267 feet of water. Line. They're going to get money to get the whole new line. The line is only leaks like hell anyway.
Right.
I don't see them. I don't know. I don't see them getting 15,000 feet of line replaced on multiple different properties with different property owners and interests.
They think they've got it.
Take thoughts to the bank. I mean, I don't know. That's all I can say is take thoughts to the bank.
I don't think we have any action on this until we get that statement from Dawn.
So I'll follow up with him.
Okay. All right. Moving on, emergency protection measures. We submitted, I think it was all the invoices, over 300 invoices to FEMA. The next thing that we're going to need to send are the time cards and the pay stubs. I'm hearing that we don't have to send the canceled checks, and that's from FEMA. Kevin told us that we did, and FEMA's saying, no, you don't. But we do need the time cards and the pay stubs and any equipment or materials that were used between, July and December. So be thinking about that, Jeff and Tosh, on how we can, get that stuff scanned into PDF status and shipped off to FEMA, because they're going to need that. Okay.
Do we have like a drop dead time frame for them?
No. We can. Yeah, no.
Right. Can we shoot for like the end of the month?
Yeah, we have no problem.
All right.
Yeah, that's the not fun stuff. Okay, any questions on emergency protection measures? And
Not for
just,
me.
go ahead. So just to explain that a little bit better, that is the what they call a category B, which is all the money that was spent before we start spending money on projects. So all the cost associated with fire recovery between July and December. And they were, they got all the invoices. Now we just need to, support the time cards and the pay stubs. And any materials that were used or any equipment that was used. And the equipment may be hard because you've got to say whether you went between point A and point B. And I don't know who had trucks. They were probably just taking trucks here and there, right? I don't know if that's even doable.
It's not fire related, no fire reasons or nothing.
No, not much. Just everything that took place during that time frame. I'm trying to think what we. Yeah, it's mainly gone by a whole lot of stuff for the emergency protection measures during that time period.
Maybe we can't include the fire department on that.
Now, the fire department, the donated labor is different. That's going to be a late project.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can speak to that right now because that is on our agenda as a bullet point. If you look down there, it says late, where is it? STEM late project letter, donated resources. I guess Kevin sent in a letter that was requesting a new project for donated resources. And and they rejected it. I talked to Kyle about it because what he needs us to say is that we had a general manager that, and then we had a change, from one general manager to another. And we realized that the first general manager didn't put in the donated resources. If we say that in the letter, they'll accept it. That's what Kyle told me. So I just need to draft that and get it to him. It's no big deal. Then Bob will start looking at the donated hours and the equipment and materials that were used, for that month of August, right? And and that will go against our 6%. So we definitely want to try and do that. I know you do, right?
Yeah, and there's something that's kind of happening on the side is on the 30th, a different representative from OES is going to be coming up and meeting with us, and he's going to try. And I had put in for a couple of apparatuses, and we backdated it to mid-July to being on the fire. And finances in fire camp was not accepting it because we were not on the incident action plan that was going on. This guy's going to try and come up and help us to get paid actually for the equipment. I think $1,800 a day for the water tender and then $1,200 for the other engine.
Nice.
And then we were entitled to have 5 people be paid during that time period. I'll have to come up with the names, which it can be for all the folks. So whatever we won't, I don't know if if we can do this or not to get everybody paid and get reimbursed for the equipment. But whatever we don't get reimbursed or paid for, then that could be a donated resource. If we are able to get paid, I could still continue. I could put other people and other equipment as a donated resource and contribute to it. But if it doesn't work, then I could put everything down as a donated resource. But the people, the folks do want to try and get paid. So we're on the 30th, we're going to find out when he comes up here and we meet with them. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. If there's something that you want to,
I'm sorry.
If there's something that you want to maybe work on before that, I'll be available all next week. So if you want to maybe, set up a meeting and maybe try and start writing stuff down, just let me know.
Okay. Probably what we're going to do is sit over at Taylorsville Station and we have a lot of the old incident action plans and stuff and start putting them together and line up to where we were and what we were doing on this day or that day and put it together. It'd be some work, but we got a big table and a lot of big paperwork there, and I think that would be a place to do it.
Okay. All right. Let us know if you need some help.
to the water trucks and stuff to fill the tank. I was during the fire. That's something we get reimbursed for.
Partial.
That's not the fire department deal. It's the water district.
Yeah, so I think we had about $30,000 on that. And then I thought when we were coming up, that would be part of the emergency protection measures
That's
taking
what I
place. Yeah, so those bills.
Because our
that we get water from.
expedition was used quite a bit for emergency service.
So right there, the $30,000 for that, I think we could put that in the measures that we made payment for that. So
Yeah,
I
you
think
guys
that's
paid
something
us
we
already.
could do.
Okay.
So do we know how much dollar wise we've turned in so far or that we've identified so far for the emergency protection measures? Or are we still tabulating them?
Well, we're talking, we were talking donated resources, which is a new unnumbered project. If we go back to number 5, the emergency protection measures, that's project 548429. I think that, I don't remember what was in that binder. Do you guys, Tosh or Jeff, do you remember seeing?
I
what's
don't
in
know
that?
the
You
total.
were, you were asking about, right, the water. That's what you were just asking about.
In
Not
the
donated
binder
resources,
was all
the
our
water that we
receipts.
purchased.
Because I was
I
actually
don't know
on
the
that
grand
deal.
total of all of it.
I'm just brought it up because they already paid me
No.
Right,
before I was a director. And, I'm just wondering if we're gonna get reimbursed for that.
right. Okay. So making sure that that was in our packet that we said.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Thank you.
Those invoices are all for all the water tender and all the stuff that had to happen.
Quite a bit of money.
So Jeff, do you
Yeah.
know what that total was?
No, I have no idea what the total is. That's
And that all went to Kevin and I don't have any eyes on that. Maybe that should be an action item to find it, get a copy of those invoices in the office. I'll do that.
Whatever we sent to Kevin, we should have.
I think Dawn has a copy of that binder.
I know Don has a copy of it and I know Kevin has a copy of it. We just don't. So we don't know what it is. It's hiding. Okay, I'll follow up on that. Debris removal, moving on to number 7 and number 8. And I don't have an update on debris removal. Does anybody on this call have any updates on that, where we are?
Yeah, I do because
Okay.
they were under the assumption we had a DIR with the state, and it's like we didn't have an account for those type of work projects. So I had to go create the account for the district. And I created that today, and the state will have to get back to me because we're a public agency. Then everything has to meet the qualifications for the what's the pay?
Prevailing wage.
Prevailing wage. So because it's a public works job, you have to meet the prevailing wage. So why they were so late in informing us of like you're going to need a.
Who did this?
Well, Select Environmental tells me today, well, you got to have the DIR number. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So I went online and found out what it was. And I had to go onto the state. And
Yeah, I have to do that too. I have a DI.
so now whenever we approve projects, we have to go and get that number.
Certified payroll.
Except
Mhm.
this isn't a state project. We're using our insurance for this. So why is the state even involved?
Because
Prevailing
we're a
wage.
public agency.
Um,
So no matter what, we would have to still produce, we would award a contract to Select Environmental, but we're under the requirement that we pay prevailing wage. And that all has to be approved through that state program, whatever that, they give you a number.
okay.
I
When
would
you-
think, I know for a fact that Select Environmental would have to be paying the wage.
They do.
Right. We're not gonna pay the wage.
That's right.
No, but we have to generate a project-specific DIR number for every prevailing wage, every public agency, every prevailing wage project has to have an individual project number that you get online real easy after you get registered. But that's what the contract, then we're kind of done with it, because then the contractor uses the project number to file their certified payroll. That's how everything gets linked.
I think what happened is they were kind of under the assumption that we were a private organization.
Probably.
And so when she sent me the email, I said, no, we're not a private
Well,
organization.
did her bid not include paying her employees prevailing wage?
Oh, they get paid.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, then
that's.
she shouldn't have, okay, well,
she was under the assumption we were private and didn't need prevailing wage, but I said, no, we're
Well,
public.
that's what I'm asking. So she didn't think we were prevailing wage.
We're a public agency and we have to do
So
prevailing
are we
wage.
paying her more now then? That she realizes
Not
this?
that I know of.
No. The guys are getting.
Contract will be the same. They just
Okay.
need the DIR number.
Okay.
All right. Because we have a signed contract with them, Adam.
Okay. I just want to make sure she didn't realize she made a mistake because now her costs are going up. If she didn't charge us the appropriate price for paying her guys prevailing wage, that's all I'm concerned about.
No, I
Yeah.
think we figured that into it at the time.
I know the guys working for them. They're getting paid. Anyway,
Okay. Any more discussion on the debris removal?
I had a question because they said the county called me and asked about one of the parcels, and it was out at the sewer ponds. And so I said, well, the only damage I know for Select Environmental might be the trailer that burned out at Lift Station 1. Is there more to that project,
No,
the lift stations?
no.
Okay.
That's it.
So I told the county, I said, no, that's, where'd that?
Yeah, it's just the trailer, right, Bob?
I'm looking at. Yes,
Yeah, it's just the trailer.
Okay,
Okay.
gotcha.
All right, moving on to the gazebo. We requested a cost estimate from the guy that built it. And have we heard anything back on that, Jeff?
I have not. Yeah, Brad Smith was going to be the one to turn in a quote, and Streetscape Committee was going to kind of coordinate that.
Okay. We're still
'Cause they
waiting on
had-
that.
Pieces that were matching, and yeah, I'll ask Josh.
Okay,
What's the Streetscape Committee?
They're the ones that helped us with all of the curbs and gutters and planters, and
Is that like a chamber group, like a private group? or
they're the ones that started 22 years ago getting the funding for all of the improvements. And then it just takes a long time to get the funding to come through. I mean, the initial funding was $3 million just for the design, and then another 14.5 million to execute the changes. So, but it took them 20 years to get to that point. So,
anyway, so we're waiting for, and I talked to Josh this last week, and so we'll keep waiting on that gazebo. Any
yeah,
other discussion on that?
no,
Okay. And then you'll see in the spreadsheet, number 10 is that additional project, that late project is what I'm calling it, but it'll be the donated resources. So, we'll get that email drafted and send it in. If you're looking at the spreadsheet, number 11 are the additional, is not an additional project. There are 78 fire damaged meters that will be part of the meter and hydrant. Did we skip that? Yeah, number 6, I skipped that. And so the fire, so back up to number 6, which is 552392, damage to hydrant and meters. I wanted to take a minute and talk about this a little bit. There's, I don't know, 600 meters in the system. I don't know that number exactly, but 78 of them have been damaged. Those damaged meters, we know that based on the codes and standards of the state, we're going to have to replace those meters and potentially the tie-in to the main with larger pipe and larger meters. And FEMA is aware of that. So we've been sending in those state requirements. Tosh has been pulling all those specs and getting them in. We know that there's going to be other lots that the meters may not have burned, and we're going to have to change those meters out as well, but FEMA's not going to pay for that. And I think the board needs to understand that we're going to have to go after state grants or something else, beg, borrow, and plead and say, okay, we're going to have to replace these meters. In addition to that, the meters that we're going to go back with, I think the 3/4 is $80 and the 1 inch is $100. But we have the, we want to maybe try and consider the automated meter reading, the AMR meters. And they're going to be an additional $100 on each meter. But to read the meters, you can like swipe a wand over it. Now, we don't own the software. We don't own the program for doing any automated meter reading. But if we want to maybe look at that as a, do we want to consider that while we're replacing these meters, or is this something we want to add on to these meters later on? And what's the cost variance to that? I think a lot of these meters can be enhanced if we go with the less expensive meters, that we can add on that AMR functionality to them. But that's why I was kind of hoping Don would be on this meeting and let him speak to that, because he's been doing some research on that. And I think we would be short-sighted to not consider the AMR capabilities as we're having to replace all these meters.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You want to upgrade as much as you can.
So I had a brief conversation with Don today, and I had asked him if we could have a more detailed conversation next week, because we'd agreed he was going to do a little bit of research. I guess he didn't have time to do it, and so he told me today that he was just going to make a recommendation that we stick with the current dumb meters that we have, for lack of a better term, that from Neptune.
Mm-hmm.
And that he just wanted to place an order. And so I asked him to hold off so that we could discuss this a little bit more.
Yeah.
There is a grant open right now from Bureau of Reclamation that we can get 50% of our costs grant funded. So that's something to consider.
Yeah. The other thing too, with these meters, they're like 20 weeks out, and we have 6 meters that we need right now. Right. So he's worried about that.
So
The delays.
Talked about that too, because I asked him, is it imperative, because there is a 20-week wait time, is it imperative that we have to place this order right now? And what he said was that no, because we can definitely turn on water for some of the upcoming building permit projects. We can turn on water. We just probably won't be able to meet the water pressure standards, but that's not going to be needed until certificate of occupancy anyway. Okay. So I don't think that we need to rush this week or anytime to place that order, and I really want to tease that out more with him about what our options are.
Yeah, because if we only have a few to hook up, we can go grab an old one.
Yes.
And just throw in place.
Yes.
And
just for immediate water use.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that doesn't make sense. We should look into, upgrading if we can, especially if we can get a grant or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know 50%, it'd be nice if it was more, but if we're going to pay 100%, we might as well only pay 50%.
Right.
And finding a system that works really well. We had some handheld things before. Of course, it's older technology. We ended up
want
just
to look at the system,
throwing them away because they didn't work.
Right.
Right.
Should look at what system's going to work for us.
So I was just on a call 10 minutes.
There's not going to be that many new meters going to be needed in the next 20 months. We can get by with patching them in for right now and then come back later and do something different, I think.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So I was just on the phone with Jessica, who's doing our mapping, the Esri mapping, about 10 minutes before this call. She said that mapping the meters in the system that we have is her biggest challenge right now, but she's moving forward with it. She spent Monday and Tuesday in the office, and they were super productive days. I can tell you that. Tosh and Don weighed in on what attributes we need to display on these maps. And I think we have a really good, solid base. I was really impressed with everybody's knowledge, the institutional knowledge that we have with the employees in the district, right? And the fact that Jessica is donating this to the district, I don't know if you guys realize how big an impact this is going to have, or how amazing it is that she's been willing to do this. This would cost us thousands of dollars to have somebody come and do this. And I just can't say how grateful I am for it. And this gal is a really good close friend of Roger's. And Roger, I know you think the world of her, but what she's gifting us is a true picture of where we are with our assets, right? What line is in service, what line is not, what meter's in service, what meter is not. It's going to have it all mapped for us once we get this done. It's going to take some field work on our part, our district staff part, to go and true up what she's created for us. But we've also got some local knowledge with Phil Noya, who knows how to use this system. He's an expert in it as well. So if we have some questions, we have someone locally we can ask to help support us technology wise. So with that, I'll take a pause and let you guys talk about that.
Well, cool.
Yeah, and a lot of it's all on the phone to go out and find the spot. It's not what she called a surveyor accurate, but it's accurate. You know, she can place a meter and you just go out and here it is, type it on an app. So it's not super field involved, you know. And Phil Noel is very good, and so is Jesse, really good.
Yeah, and none of these assets were mapped, right? The meters have never been mapped. I mean, they were just kind of guessed at by Dean. So this is going to true it up for sure.
And sewer and everything else.
Yeah, and sewer, which is not mapped. Yeah, we're going to get that in there as well. So it's pretty amazing. So I'm going to move on. We've got 15 minutes left. So we want to get to the firehouse. The firehouse is kind of a big one. We've got the inventory list is still to do. The square footage.
That should be done. I
Oh, is
think
it
for
done?
the firehouse inventory, I finished. I think we're completely done with that now. Unless
Nice.
anybody else came with something.
Okay, perfect. That's great. But Tosh, did you upload that to FEMA?
Did we
I haven't
include
received
the,
anything yet.
Okay,
did we include the drying racks outside the building?
I'm pretty sure we did on that one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And
Nick was
the
added on his.
lighting. I noticed in the insurance policy, we had things exterior of the building that could be added. So in other words, the drying racks, the lighting,
I'll ask Lucas if he included that on that.
the antique pull box, and then your handle that had the digital number code on it to get into the door.
Okay.
So I noticed those few things I didn't see on the insurance list.
Okay, maybe those aren't them.
And
Okay.
so anything exterior wise, then your red lights on the exterior as well that were explosion proof, those glass red lights on the front. So, but regular sight lights on the top and red lights
Okay.
on the front. So those were the things I looked over the policy and the list, and I didn't see them in the list. So I wanted to make sure we encompassed everything that was on the outside of the building as well.
I'll check with the inventory on Lucas on that one, but the turnouts and the wildland gear and the radios, the pagers, I added those all in there now, or at least I sent them on. So thank you.
Yeah, you sent them to Carol or?
I sent to you, I thought. I sent to you.
Yeah,
You didn't get
he
it?
sent it to you and I, Tosh.
When was this?
Yeah, he
A few
sent it
days.
to you and I. So, Tosh, if you want to get with Carol and find out where to put that on the portal, or just send it to Carol.
Once we get it complete.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
then-
right now, just have those 3-4 things on there right now. Then we should
Okay.
be done.
Perfect. And Bob, were you able to come to an agreement with Karen over the square footage?
I guess I'm going to just have to agree to disagree. Well, I'll go with her to move on with the project. You know, she gave me additional 1.5 square feet, I think it was, onto
Yeah.
the width of the upper building. She did. It's 1.5 square feet.
Okay,
She's saying 7 feet, and I got 3 feet, and she did 1.5. Okay, I'm ready to move on.
okay.
So
Thank
I'll
you,
just
sir.
go with that.
All right. The
I mean,
next,
not 1.5 square feet, 1.5 feet wider. So how many square feet that added? We added another 100 square feet or something.
I
which
think
equals
175, yeah. Yeah,
3,000
okay.
feet
Oh.
forward.
Okay, and then I think there was a request from Roger and Susan last week that we look at the contract and maybe close some of the open items, that there's a limit
So
on what they
Susan
can.
was gonna look into that. Yeah, you're right.
She was looking into that, and then she took off for Washington to a funeral. So, we can wait for her to get back, or we can have some discussion on this design tonight. While we've got Bob here, we got Wanda here. But I know that Susan was her position was that the engineering's contract, and I know, Roger, you felt the same way, needed to be fine-tuned a little bit.
There's a lot of open-ended.
There's some open-ended stuff on that there then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think probably let Susan run with that. I mean, I don't know. When's she gonna be back, you know?
I don't know. I think it's just an up and back. So I bet she's back next week.
Yeah.
So I do have some concerns over sole sourcing it, only because I had recently come across something on the CSDA forums that another district had been dealing with FEMA, and they really didn't like the sole sourcing for professional services, like architectural and engineering. And so I don't know if we want to try and do, an RFP, or if the board is comfortable just negotiating with NFP.
I'm just comfortable with moving forward to the, I talked with Greg Einhorn, and I called him back a second time, discussing it. He said, no, you're absolutely fine at this level. He said, you're fine with it. And he said, when it comes to the rest of the project, I can work with you regarding a project manager and for construction goods. But he gave me some specific terminology regarding that because of the building and part of a special services project. He said,
Special service project and local engineer, and that someone from out of the area, it was just too difficult to work with them from someone out of the area. And these guys are in Susanville, so they can be here.
I don't know if you want to talk with the madam about it, that's fine. But our attorney has been there quite a while, but he was fine. He said, no, you're absolutely fine on this particular phase of it. He said, you're fine with it.
Well, I think we are fine. We can totally do it. And I guess the question is how much money do we really expect FEMA to kick in for the fire station in the first place?
And
So
to
does
Adam's
it even
point, Bob,
matter if I'm sorry, Chrissy?
To Adam's point, Bob,
even
FEMA told me that they don't like that single sourcing either. But I don't know that FEMA's going to kick in on the firehouse.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff we're turning in this money might be an exercise facility, but we're doing it, and we're doing our level best to make it a good faith effort, make it happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we're doing that. A couple of things I was told last night actually, and I was in Chico today, but didn't follow up, but Pam Courtwright, who's the OES coordinator over at the sheriff's office, wants me to give her a call. I guess she just came across a grant for rural communities, less than 20,000 for new fire stations. I don't know what the end is, whatever. So I need to give her a call, and I'll give her a call tomorrow, and I'll find out more about that. Maybe that can work together. Hopefully, I don't know what the time frame is, but I'll find out what she's got to say. You're nodding your head. You know something about it?
I did. I just ran across this. So there's the CAL FIRE one. There's also a FEMA one that so the CAL FIRE helps with capital needs of building. FEMA then kicks in for stocking for actual equipment. So FEMA won't pay for building, but they'll pay for contents. And so yes, I ran across those. I haven't been able. They're like 100-page documents. So I haven't gone through all the fine details yet. But yes, but if you have a conversation with her, by all means, talk with her and then let me know what she knows.
Okay.
Yeah, or I'll be happy to hop on a call with you.
Okay, let's figure that out. So maybe that might help us push it over the hump for whether we're going to have 3 bays or 4 bays. I have a feeling we're going to be really close on that whole thing. And then an additional comment I want to make is I read what the reporter put in the paper, and she stated that the sheriff's office had committed to 300,000. As far as I know, Todd has only stated to me 100,000 plus a $50,000 for a generator through a grant. So as far as I know from the sheriff's office is 100 plus 50,000 for 150, not 300,000. And then what I heard the finance officer say, and it was granted informal conversations that we had over there. I heard him state 325 to help towards the project. But then the guy who's really railroading behind the scenes, Sam Blessy, told me to call Paul. Maybe Bob said, I think we're going to be able to put in maybe 350, 375. Maybe if we're lucky, we can push it. We might even get 400. But they haven't committed to it. But he's telling me behind the scenes, hey, this is kind of what's going on. This is what we're hoping to do, and we'll contribute as much as we have. But it said 400 from the hospital that they committed to it. They haven't committed to it yet. Nothing in writing. That's all been verbal. But I just want to clarify that. Then also the same thing from the sheriff's office. Who knows? Maybe we might get more from the county, but that's not officially. Out of the words, has been 325 and 100 from them plus a generator.
Okay. So 325 from the hospital and 100 from the sheriff. Is that what you said?
Yeah. And then Todd said he was going to get through a grant. He had a grant where he could get the generator to power the whole building. And so he was going to follow through with getting a grant for a big generator to power the whole building, which he said might be worth up to 50,000.
Is that the sheriff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I've got from them. I haven't had a conversation. I saw I had an email from the sheriff here earlier, and I haven't opened yet to see what I've got from him. So I'll follow up.
So
Okay.
maybe you and I can schedule a call with us or us and Chrissy tomorrow, because I have more questions. I don't want to take up all of our time, but I have more questions on some of the specifics of the station and the drawings and the engineering stuff.
Okay.
So can we connect tomorrow?
Okay. Let's see. I have a doctor's appointment at 10, and Quincy and I'll be back in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I can make it in the afternoon.
Okay.
1 o'clock on.
All right.
I'll be
And
available.
press them for a commitment for the
Sure.
capital funding. I mean,
Sure.
once you get it in writing from them.
I know they were waiting to hear back on the plans, and I told them it's going to be going over there, and they were kind of waiting to see what the plans were going to show and what the amount was. And yeah, so we got to try and figure out what the total cost is going to be, and then move on from that. So sooner we can get the plans or the blueprints, we know exactly what we're dealing with and the amount of money we're dealing with, and then we're going to check in to see what they can kick in.
Yeah, we're gonna get the plans
Okay.
first.
We got
Yeah.
5 minutes left. Any more
Okay.
Discussion on the fire
That's it.
hall?
That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Content. So moving on to the next items, we'll go to the non-FEMA projects. The first one is the IRWIM grant. We have already been awarded the 350,000. Dean is drawing that up. And based on Tasha's attending the DWR meeting in Quincy last week, we've got another 140,000. So we should give Tasha a raise.
Round of applause, that's all you get.
Thank you.
Anyway, they're gonna scope out a section on Main Street to replace the main, that's gonna go out to bid. And we're waiting on the drawings for that so we can send it out. That money's in the bank so we can spend it.
So,
Um,
and I'm sorry, Chrissy.
No, go ahead.
So I understand. So this is so we're only doing a part of a much larger project, right? Because the whole Main Street project is like 2 million. Is that what I understand?
2.1 million for, from what I've seen, there is a drawing that's been completed to redo Greenville, and it's a 2.1 million, water construction project on the pipes.
So we're phasing that, and that's what the 350 is going towards.
That's what the 350 is paying for part of it. Yes,
That will be
Okay.
up to 440, right?
and it's now up to 440. Yes,
Okay, I got it.
and then.
And
Based on that meeting that Tosh went to, there's 11 more grants that we can apply for. And I put that on your desk, Adam.
Saw
It's
that.
a PowerPoint printout.
Yes.
So
Do you have an in, or does anyone have an in with Tracy Ferguson? I can't get her to respond to my emails or voicemails.
Yeah, I can talk. What do you
I
want?
just want to call back. That's
All
all I
right.
want. I just want to talk to her.
Okay.
yeah. And Uma is the one I think we want to talk to about applying for grants. Have you talked to her?
Well, no, because the reason is because I'd like to see if we can go after a hazard mitigation grant. Well, you can only go after hazard mitigation grants if you have an adopted local hazard mitigation plan. In Plumas County, it's Tracy Ferguson's name all over it that does the plan.
Okay.
And so I wanted to verify that our district is included in their plan, because if not, then we can't access it. They have to specifically include us in their plan. And it's done like every 5 or 10 years, something like that. So I just wanted to have a conversation with her, verify that we're in their plan, and verify that she or the county is not already putting in for hazard mitigation grants. Then we're, duplicating efforts. That's all.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right,
And the good news on the 440 is that they've already requested it and they've already received the funds. So now it's just a matter of us spending it.
Are they going to advance us the money or convert
They can advance some.
some?
I
okay.
don't know what they're going to do that way, but they have the money.
There's really nothing to report out on the Crescent Mills water treatment plant that I know of. I know that the engineering is done, but we need the plans and the specs for the, I don't know what's going on with the Crescent Mills water treatment plant.
I will include that. So this is another Dean project, correct?
They're
Well,
all
yeah,
being
so there's
projects, yeah.
it's already a shovel-ready project. There's already a planning grant done for
Yes.
Crescent Mills water plant and the Crescent Mills water system with the SCADA system and everything else.
And so do we have full design shovel ready?
Mhm.
Okay,
And
so
I think we
just-
have to apply for funding, right?
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And then the long-term lift station plan, the reason we requested Dean to draw that up is because the attorneys for Potter Handy requested that. So moving on, do we have any updates on the park bug kill trees? Did we get anything back from the resubmitted bids to the contractors?
I've got more to do there.
Okay, we'll table that till next week because we're running short on time here. PG&E lawsuit on Tuesday. Jeff and Bob and I are meeting to be interviewed on the impact of the fire, and it's pretty organized. They've given us the questions in advance, and we'll let Bob be our star. You can take autographs, Bob.
Well, I'm looking at the questions. They're saying, what did you do prior to the fire? What was happening through the fire? When did you see the facilities? When they're, I'm seeing everything burn up and stuff, so I can do that. I could put on a uniform and try and look halfway professional for the lawsuit and make that work. So, okay, I'll come over, and I don't know where they want to do. I was interested. The film crew is flying into Reno that day, and if you saw the last email, they were supposed to be at 6:30. They want to move it up to 6 or maybe possibly sooner, I think. So
Okay.
all combinated, but I don't know where the address is out there on the road, but I'll.
You know where the Myers Ranch is, right?
Yeah,
It's just their rental cabin that they have there.
that's right. Not right next door to our prior general manager, is it?
No, it's this side before you even get the money.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's on that sweep and turn
it's
there.
across the street.
Yes,
okay.
It's
okay,
Okay.
all by itself.
okay. Good to know. Thanks.
And really, that's all I have.
I have one other thing. You saw at the top of here, the new fire volunteers. I think we might get 6 new members. And it sounds like they all might want to go to the fire academy. What we're going to be, I'm hard pressed to find turnouts. In fact, I'll be giving with my leg and stuff. I'm going to give my turnouts to one person. I think get another person or two to donate their turnouts, but I don't know what to do. What they'll go through, but they're required to have turnouts because we end up going in. They got to have all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I might end up coming to the board, FYI, to do emergency purchase of turnouts prior to the 50/50 grant to get them outfitted or get them somewhere.
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
good you're giving us a heads up now. We can be thinking about
I
it.
don't know. Gonna call and find out, see if they
Yes.
might have something. but I
That's great.
don't know.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, but it's really great. You might have 6 people doing that. That's why.
Yeah, Big Bar still is better because you can't, for that 50/50 grant, you can't spend that money until they say go. It has to
I'm going to
be,
ask some of the other fire departments if we can borrow for
has to be a certain
Saturday.
time
Sure,
frame.
Quincy's got some extra.
Okay.
Have the guys borrow.
The last thing on the agenda bullet points is the COVID relief fund application. And we have, I don't know what the due date on that is, Jeff, do you know?
No, I think we talked about Adam saying April 1st.
Yeah, if it's the one I think you're talking about for arrearages, right?
It's the second go round for their,
That's, I think it's,
yes,
yeah,
arrearages.
beginning of April, where we just started talking about today in Chester, so I'll make sure that we don't miss out on it.
Okay. And let me know if I can help.
Okay, all right. And then just a couple other things kind of related to that is, I already mentioned the 2 grants. And then if you're not aware, if you avoid news out of Washington, DC, like I would like to do this year. So, the federal fiscal year runs October 1st to September 30th. And so since last September 1st, they've been running on a interim budget, and Congress just passed the funding bill for this fiscal year through the end of this September. And what they did is they brought back, for the first time in 10 years, earmarks are back now. Earmarks are a thing again. So we can go hit up LaMalfa and Feinstein and whoever our other Senator Padilla for some earmarks. And all 3 of them actually have legislation right now, very supportive of fire, because all 3 of them have written legislation and introduced it for assistance for rural fire departments. And so we now that earmarks are back, we can ask for custom projects to be funded, basically. And now is the time to do it, because now is when we'll want them to start. Now is when they're putting together next October's budget, right?
Okay.
So just FYI, that's another angle.
All right, perfect. Thanks for that. And does that fall in line with the PCSD Association membership meetings and trainings, or is that something different?
Something different.
Okay. That's just
I don't-
compliance.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at with ethics. The Form 700s I have, except for Director Carpenter, but
So we'll need
the
to
others,
discuss
I don't know whether we have ethics and
Sexual harassment.
prevention training.
So we'll make sure you guys are all compliant. And then I would, and maybe I'll put it on next week's agenda since we're running out of time, but I think it really is worth it for the board, and we can get scholarships too. I'll give you the dates for both some CSDA functions coming up, and then the California Rural Water Association Expo is in Tahoe next month. So it's coming up very quickly. But if you're interested, I'll send the dates. I'll email them to you. If you're interested, we can try and get some scholarships, but it looks like it's worth it for both of them.
CSDA is usually really good to
Very
get
good.
scholarships.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, CSDA is very easy to get scholarships from.
Okay.
Highly.
That's all I have. Anybody else have anything for the good of the group?
Oh, thank you for running the meeting. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Cool.
my pleasure. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Thank you. Yeah, so we did it. We're a little bit over, but we're still like 6 minutes over. We did it.
It's okay.
We started late, so we'll give you that.
That's true. So I guess we need a motion to adjourn, Roger.
Yep, I motion we adjourn.
I second it. All in favor?
Good deal.
Hi.
All right.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Chris. We appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to sign off. Let me know if you need anything. And Adam, I'm just a call away, right? If you need anything, if you need me to do something, I'm set up to do it.